Alright, today we're jumping into Surrounded by Idiots by Thomas Erikson. Have you ever had that feeling where you're just not on the same page with the people around you? Maybe it even feels like you're surrounded by, well, let's just say, people who don't quite get it. Communication can be a minefield, and sometimes it feels like no matter how clear you are, people just don't seem to understand. But what if there's a method to decode and connect with people better? This book breaks down a simple, game-changing concept. There are 4 core personality types that drive people's behavior. Understanding these types can help you not only communicate more effectively but also get why others act the way they do. Think of that person who's ultra-competitive, or the one who's always in the spotlight, or maybe the quiet observer in the background. Surrounded by Idiots gives you a roadmap to navigating all of them. So, where did the idea for this book come from? Let's rewind to a story that inspired it. When Erikson was just 25, he met Stuart, a 60-year-old entrepreneur who'd spent decades building his business from scratch. Before kicking off a new project, Thomas sat down to interview him. In their first conversation, Stuart opened up with, "I'm surrounded by idiots." Erikson laughed at first, thinking it was a joke, but quickly realized Stuart was dead serious. Stuart actually had a list of reasons, pointing out how clueless he felt people in various departments were. To Stuart, nearly everyone in his company was incompetent. As Thomas listened, he sensed something deeper driving Stuart's frustration. So he asked a pointed question: who hired these people? That simple question hung in the air, and both Thomas and Stuart could feel its weight. Stuart had hired almost everyone himself. In that moment, Stuart had an epiphany: the problem might lie closer to home than he thought. And so, Surrounded by Idiots explores this idea, revealing that the real journey to understanding begins with understanding yourself. Thomas was ultimately dismissed from the project, yet his conversation with Stuart stayed with him. Here was a highly successful entrepreneur, admired for his skills, but one who had little patience for his employees. If someone didn't fit his mold or match his expectations, he labeled them an idiot. This encounter sparked a curiosity in Thomas Erikson about why people perceive one another so differently, leading him to delve deeper into understanding human behavior. This exploration culminated in Surrounded by Idiots, where Erikson introduces the DISC model, standing for dominance, induction, submission, and compliance. Each of these categories represents a core behavioral type, which Erikson links to colors: red, yellow, green, and blue. By understanding these 4 personality types, we can better navigate communication challenges, whether with coworkers, family, or friends. Stick around to the end, and you'll discover insights that can make your communication smoother and minimize conflict. Let's start with red, the dominant type. Ever met someone who views everything as a competition? They always need to be on top, and winning is the ultimate goal. For instance, Thomas once had a neighbor who, after noticing Thomas's impressive vegetable garden, decided to plant an even larger one, purely to outdo him. This competitive spirit is a classic hallmark of the red personality. Red personalities are often seen as choleric, meaning they can be hot-tempered, impatient, and impulsive. They're bold, dynamic, and make no apologies for their intense drive. Like Thomas's neighbor, they are relentless in pursuing their goals and rarely shy away from expressing their opinions, even if that means being blunt. Reds value honesty and directness, often speaking their minds without sugarcoating. They also thrive in high-speed environments and get frustrated when things slow down. A red in a meeting, for example, might grow visibly bored if the discussion drags on too long. They're quick to grasp key points and mentally move ahead, strategizing future steps or anticipating challenges. Reds won't waste time on something unless they see a clear purpose. As we explore this personality type, think of the people in your life who fit this profile. They may be driven, outspoken, competitive, and goal-oriented. Maybe you even see these traits in yourself. Understanding Reds' needs and motivations can lead to more effective communication with them. Reds are also known for their fearless, risk-taking approach to life. They push themselves right up to their limits, loving the thrill of testing what they're capable of. Reds don't do things halfway, they dive in head first and rely on their own instincts, rarely influenced by others' opinions. Although Reds can sometimes come across as self-centered, they're actually quite adaptable. If they see their approach isn't working, they're open to listening and considering new ideas. Results-driven and control-oriented, Reds despise stagnation. If something feels stuck, they'll jump in and make changes, seeing change itself as a positive force. Where others might feel overwhelmed by constant change, Reds thrive, viewing it as a sign of good fortune. Reds communicate with confidence and clarity, often earning others' trust simply through their self-assured presence. They believe that great achievements require sacrifice and always strive to give 100%, continuously challenging their own boundaries. Now, let's look at the yellow, or sanguine, personality type. Have you ever met someone who lights up a room with their cheerful, sun-like energy? That's a yellow personality in action. Known for their optimism and natural charm, yellows are the ones who lift everyone's spirits, bringing warmth wherever they go. Yellows love to talk and tell stories, sometimes wandering off topic, but always with the intent to create a lively, positive atmosphere. Among all four personality colors, yellow is often the most popular, and it's easy to see why. Their enthusiasm makes people feel welcome and valued, creating a positive feedback loop where others enjoy returning that kindness. Like Reds, yellows make decisions quickly, but their approach is more heart-driven than logic-based. For example, Thomas's sister Maria perfectly embodies this personality. She's upbeat, caring, and effortlessly positive, making everyone around her feel good. Thomas noticed that no matter where they went, people were drawn to her, and he never heard a single negative comment about her. In this chapter, you'll learn to recognize and understand these yellow traits, which can help you connect with the optimistic yellows in your life. Thomas once casually mentioned to Maria that it looked like it was going to rain, but Maria brushed it off. When the rain eventually started, Thomas pointed out that the dark clouds made it pretty clear. Maria, completely unfazed, simply replied, "Don't worry, the sun will come out soon. We just need to wait." She sat down, relaxed and content. This is a classic yellow personality in action. Yellows are social, optimistic, and always see the bright side, even if clouds are gathering. Yellow personalities are natural people persons, always ready to strike up a conversation, even with strangers. Their energy level is similar to Reds, but with a twist, they fuel themselves with social connection. They keep tabs on everyone, and no detail escapes them. Being around a yellow can lift your mood instantly because they're lively, cheerful, and incredibly resourceful. Faced with challenges, they don't worry about what can go wrong, they jump straight into problem solving, using their creativity to find solutions others might overlook. Yellows genuinely believe in building relationships, and they easily trust people, forming friendships wherever they go, even in just 5 minutes. Now, let's talk about green, or the phlegmatic personality type. Often seen as the most balanced, greens are calm, steady, and down-to-earth. In fact, ancient thinkers like Hippocrates and the Aztecs referred to this type as earth people. Greens may appear ordinary at first glance, but their grounded presence is essential. They're like the backbone of a community, bringing stability where Reds lead and yellows entertain. Thomas once observed a married couple, a yellow husband and a green wife. The husband, with his outgoing yellow personality, was the life of the party, always bouncing around and interacting with everyone. He loved organizing games at gatherings and answering questions with enthusiasm. Meanwhile, his wife would sit quietly, smiling along but preferring to observe rather than participate in the chaos. When Thomas asked if she ever got tired of her husband's high energy, she simply replied that she understood him and appreciated his joy, never trying to change him. This is a perfect illustration of the green personality. They create harmony, value peace, and often prioritize the happiness of others over their own preferences. Greens are the calming force in any group, steady and patient, adding a needed balance to the dynamics of everyday life. This description perfectly captures the easygoing nature of greens. They're accommodating, rarely making demands, and almost always allow others to do their thing. Greens don't get upset easily and are incredibly understanding. They follow their inner sense of right and wrong and do everything they can to avoid causing anyone harm. Often, they won't question authority, even if a boss's decisions seem odd. Their kindness and listening skills are exceptional, and they're the ones you can always count on for support when you need it most. For example, one of Thomas's colleagues, Maya, has a green personality. People naturally turn to her for help, and she handles her work with a smile. Maya never forgets important dates like birthdays or anniversaries, and if anyone on her team faces tough times, she's there to encourage them. Greens are reliable, dependable, and often stay true to their word, ensuring that tasks are completed no matter the challenge. They don't mind taking orders and are drawn to stability. Greens stick to their beliefs, making it hard for others to sway them. Now, let's delve into the blue personality type, often described as the analytical personality. Blues are those who prefer to stay in the background, silently observing and analyzing their surroundings. Where greens might go with the flow, blues find comfort in facts and accuracy. They are realistic, detail-oriented, and reserved, tending to identify risks before taking action. We all have that friend who seems to know everything and shares it only when needed. This is a classic blue. Blues speak only when they have something meaningful to say and base their words on well-researched facts. They think carefully before speaking and lean heavily on logic and analysis to guide their thoughts. Despite their deep knowledge, they don't boast or rush to speak, only sharing insights when asked. They're humble to a fault, avoiding any spotlight even if they know the answer. This humility, though admirable, can sometimes work against them by making their strengths less visible to others. Each personality color adds value to a group. Reds bring drive, yellows spread joy, greens offer support, and blues contribute well-thought-out insights. With this understanding, you can start to see how knowing someone's personality type helps you connect with them, making communication smoother and minimizing conflicts. Imagine a group trying to solve a puzzle. While others jump in with quick ideas, a blue personality might hold back, observing every detail. Thomas once saw a blue individual at an event who only shared the solution after nearly 2 hours of puzzling. This patience comes naturally to blues, who avoid impulsive decisions and consider long-term impacts. If asked why they didn't speak up earlier, a blue might say, "You never asked." Where greens prioritize others, blues focus on security and calculated action. Unlike reds or yellows, who make decisions based on intuition or emotions, blues take a methodical approach, stepping back to assess before making a move. Blues care about process, not just results, often developing strategies to navigate risk with precision. If a task seems too uncertain, they'll likely avoid it, as stability is key. Quality and accuracy are paramount to blues, and they strive to eliminate errors entirely. Unlike yellows, who may make decisions based on emotions, blues depend on logic. When things deviate from plan or don't meet their standards, they find it unsettling. A prime example of a blue personality is Thomas's father. Whenever there's an issue with a gadget or appliance, Thomas's father scrutinizes every detail in the manual, lamenting, "Why bother with instructions if things never work as described?" Blues are not easily swayed by misinformation, they value truth and structure. For instance, Thomas's father stops at red lights even when the roads are deserted at night, viewing it as the right thing to do. Though blues appear calm and reserved, their minds are always active, carefully assessing situations before speaking. This restraint often makes them seem quiet, but they're deeply aware of their surroundings. Like the Aztecs, who likened them to the ocean, blues embody a serene and stable presence, believing that silence is often better than unnecessary words. In conclusion, understanding the 4 personality types, red, yellow, green, and blue, can help you navigate relationships with family, friends, or colleagues. Each personality has unique strengths and challenges, and recognizing these traits allows for better communication and a deeper connection with those around you. Now that you've explored the 4 main personality types, red, yellow, green, and blue, you have a better grasp of how each interacts and communicates. Reds are bold and assertive. They aren't looking to control others but are simply wired for action and leadership. Recognizing this can help you adapt to their competitive nature and manage situations with them smoothly. Yellows, by contrast, aren't driven by a desire for fame but by their genuine love for making people happy. Their outgoing and social nature makes them invaluable in people-centric roles, like sales, where their energy and connections thrive. Greens are your steady support system, always ready to lend a hand or offer encouragement when you need it most. They're the friends who put others first, showing up whenever and wherever they're needed. Then there are blues, the meticulous thinkers. They approach everything with calm logic and a quiet strength, choosing solitude over crowds. Blues may speak less, but when they do, it's thoughtful and analytical, adding depth to any conversation. Understanding these personality types is an excellent first step toward mastering effective communication. With this awareness, you'll navigate relationships better, relate to others on a deeper level, and decide more confidently about the types of personalities you want in your life. We don't need to connect deeply with everyone, but understanding who they are and finding common ground is key. Miscommunication isn't always someone else's fault, sometimes, it's on us too. With these insights, you can improve your interactions and build more positive relationships. Thank you for tuning in to this summary. If you found this helpful, subscribe for more audiobook summaries to support your personal and professional growth. Stay curious, stay connected, and I'll see you in the next summary.